Okay.
Okay, we are live. We're testing right now. You look really good, Jeff. This is your first day on Blab. Doing amazing. Your colors are excellent.
Awesome.
What kind of camera are you using? Do you know, is it a laptop?
I'm actually using a Mac computer, and then I'm just using the integrated camera that's in the Mac computer. And then I have a light I bought at Lowe's for $10. Just a typical LED bulb that blows again into my face.
And you got a headset on.
Yeah, and I'm using a Logitech. It was about $150 Logitech headset.
Yeah, that's a good headset. I can tell a difference in an inexpensive and a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Let me shut that. So Jeff, we're just getting ready. I'm going to I will re-edit your intro on the podcast because I have to read it and then make it sound nice. And especially on the podcast. Podcasts are a little bit different. As you know, this is both a live stream right now on Blab. We're going to have a blog. We're going to be on YouTube 20 minutes after we're done with the show. And then finally, we're going to be up in an edited podcast. The edited podcast is by far the most time consumer in this whole route. So we're going to take a couple second break. Then we'll come on and I'll just say, hey, hi, Jeff. Hi, Jeff. Hi, welcome to Timelines. I'll say that. And we know you're coming in from Omaha, right?
Yep.
Okay, Jeff, I know you're a hard driver, real estate professional, and I love to do real estate. We've been around that business for 25 years, either building or in the actual working with brokers and agents. So, Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, and what you do.
Bill, I've been in the business 9 years, and I've systematized how to sell residential real estate. I own a lot of different businesses that are offshoots of residential real estate.
Could you hold 1 second? I just got to check something. Okay, Jeff, welcome to the show. We know you've been in real estate for a long while. You're professional. You're a hard charger. Tell us more about exactly what you do and why you do it.
Yeah, Bill, thank you very much. What really, I believe, set me apart from the rest of the pack is we systematized the way residential real estate was ran. And the way we sell real estate. For me, a huge piece of success is based on the value we add not only to the agents that work within our organization, but also to the clients that we serve. And over the last 9 years, I've worked towards building the #1 real estate team in Nebraska. We've been #1 2 years running. Last year, we sold 580 houses, totaling $98.6 million in volume, with a gross commission income of $2.5 million. And I'm keeping 33% of that gross. So you can do the math. Because of the success we've had early on in residential real estate in Omaha, we started expanding all across the country. We started Elite Real Estate Systems. You can go out to the website. It's eliterealestatesystems.com. And what we do is we find, super driven individuals that haven't yet made it to where they want to be from a success standpoint. And we help them build successful teams like the team that we have here. We've launched in 5 cities across the country. We're in San Diego, Salt Lake, Boston, Jacksonville, Florida, and Lincoln, Nebraska. And we hope to continue to expand 1 to 2 platforms a month indefinitely. We've had a lot of success with that. And then the last thing is because of all of the different pieces of the business that we've put together here in Omaha and the systematic approach we've brought to residential real estate, we now have team leaders not only within residential real estate, but in other industries as well that are coming out to a team building workshop that I host every other Monday here in Omaha. And it's a 12-hour workshop, 8:30 in the morning till 8:30 at night.
So
that's me in a nutshell.
What's the magic with a team? Why a team? Most real estate agents are
number one's profitability. I guess when you look at if the conversation is should I run a team or should I own a brokerage, the answer is always going to be run a team if you can run it the right way because the profitability margin. I just shared with the audience, I'm keeping 33% of the gross commission income. The traditional broker across the country keeps 3%. Right. So I'm making 30 times as much money as the traditional broker. That's huge. The other reason of having a team versus being an individual is leverage. Do you want to be the cog in the wheel, or do you want to create a system in which others are the cogs in the wheel, and then one day can become the leader as well? That's one thing that's always been important to me, is never setting a glass ceiling for anyone within my organization. So I'm actually one of the first teams I've ever heard of that allows agents to build teams within my team. So I allow my agents to have teams as well. Yeah. So I really run my team a lot like a brokerage would.
So what on these teams? What are the different people in a team, and how many people are on a team?
So the systematic approach I speak of, essentially our goal is that the agents spend a majority of their time prospecting, meeting with clients, and the ideal setting for meeting the clients is to have them sit at the office signing exclusive buyer agency agreements and signing listing agreements with sellers at the house. Outside of that, I have taught the agents to leverage other people's time and energy in showing property. So we have full-time showing assistants. We have full-time listing coordinators that do everything once the listing agreement signed all the way to closing. The agents really, the focus with them is to spend a majority of their time making outbound calls, getting connects, creating relationships, and finding new leads. And I feel like too often agents like to spend their time doing busy work that you can hire someone for $15 an hour to do, instead of doing work, which in my opinion, work in real estate is prospecting. Agents, if you're earning $100,000 a year, you're worth $50 an hour. Anything that you can hire someone to do for less than $50 an hour, you should be putting them in that role. So our team has a full-time listing coordinator, buyer's coordinator. Then we also have an accountability manager. The accountability manager has a sit down every week with every individual within our organization to hold them accountable to the goals that they've set for themselves and for the minimum expectation that our team has for any individual that's within our organization in terms of outbound calling, open houses, office meetings, cultural events, to all these different things. We hold them essentially accountable to what they have set for their goals.
Very good. So in accountability, so it's like a coach, it sounds like, the accountability manager.
It's exactly like a coach. And then we do the same thing with our expansion teams. We hold those team leaders accountable to make sure that they're doing the things that are going to make their organization successful.
Now,
and then we also,
Go ahead.
We also have an operations manager who serves also as a marketing director. Operations manager oversees all of the administrative staff. So I talked about that listing coordinator, buyer's coordinator. We also have the showing assistants, and then we have a sign runner who also serves as a runner in general. And our operations manager oversees all of that. So I've essentially positioned myself in which I have an accountability coach or success coach, and I have an operations manager. So those are my two direct reports. So I was able to net $1 million in 2015, truly working less than 5 hours a week on my team in Omaha. And I've been told that that is not possible. It certainly is possible. I'm happy to share my tax return with anyone that'd like to see it. And if anyone doesn't believe it, ask my agents how often I work in Omaha. It's no longer my primary job to serve as the CEO president of Omaha's Elite. My primary job now is to serve as the president of Elite Real Estate Systems and expand our already proven model across the country.
Yeah, very good. I know I totally see where you're going, because I've always believed in the small team concept with our brokerage we had in California, and it does work. One person, that lead generation is so important, meeting people and signing listings, or just signing listings, getting the house. The listing is what generates the whole business, really. Right.
It certainly works. And the reason, you talk about defining what works means, I think we all talk about profitability and then how much time we have to put in. Right. There's three different real estate teams. One, and I'm going to steal this from the CEO of Real Trends, who's the one that goes out to get the data for top real estate teams for the Wall Street Journal. In an interview with Patrick Lilly, who is one of the top podcasters in residential real estate, and this applies to any other industry, he said there's three different types of teams. Number one's a community team where you have 4 or 5 rainmakers that share in the overhead expenses. Number two is the rainmaker team, where you have a shark and then a bunch of suckerfish. The shark does half the production on the team. Everybody else just kind of picks up the slack. The third is the CEO, or a true business entity team, where the rainmaker becomes an owner. He becomes the manager, providing oversight to everyone else, and then creates a systematic approach. The challenge is when you're a rainmaker, and you address this, Bill, prior to our call, you focus on your sphere of influence. Well, how do you build a team in a completely different market if everything you've built is based on your sphere? It'd take you 10 more years. And so you have to have something proven with lead generation. You have to have a process in which leads are generated. It can be flyers. It can be outbound prospecting. It can be open houses. It doesn't matter what it is, but it can't be sphere focused if you want to be able to expand within your market or nationally.
Oh, I totally understand what you're saying. We say personal farm, geographical farm, but there's something third out there. You're talking about lead generation, going out. Is it the traditional way in real estate? Like you've got expireds, for sale by owners?
So our team focuses on 3 categories in residential real estate. Number one is sphere. That's your best source. Number 2 is lead generation via expired, for sale by owner. And then we do what's called just listed, just sold calls, where you just blanket call neighborhoods. We found it takes about 3 hours of outbound prospecting to land one sale. And if your average commission is $5,000, you do the math, that starts to be pretty advantageous to pick up the phone and make some calls. And then the third category is internet leads. We generate 1,500 internet leads every single month through Google AdWords, Bing, Yahoo, and Craigslist.
So those are the numbers. That's your hardcore basic numbers you've come up with.
Yep. And we made 98,000 outbound calls last year, Bill, as a team. And we found it took 5 outbound calls to get 1 contact. And it took about 10 contacts to get 1 face-to-face appointment. And it took 2.5 face-to-face appointments to get 1 executed sale. So we know we need to make about 200 outbound calls to sell 1 property with an average commission of $5,000. That's a lot of money per hour if we just pick up the phone. So a majority of my agents are averaging about 800 to 1,000 outbound calls a month, which really isn't a lot. I mean, people that hit the phones for 8 hours, you can make 1,000 calls a day. I actually own a company called 1,000 Calls a Day that I have 20 full-time calling assistants in the Philippines making calls for other businesses like real estate and other industries. It's an outbound teleprospecting solution, essentially.
That's hardcore. Have you tried it with real estate?
Yeah, 90% of our callers are doing it for real estate. And I've had a full-time virtual assistant in the Philippines for the last 3 years. I've had up to 3 at the same time. The game in real estate isn't generating leads, and that's where everyone puts their focus. It's converting. And this isn't just real estate. This is every industry. Creating leads is easy. The hard part is staying in contact with those leads over 6 months so that you see them to close. And we found, on average, we track every lead that comes into our system, how long it took from lead to executed contract. And out of the 12,000 leads that we generated last year, the average lead took 6 months to go register on the site and then go under contract 6 months later.
Hey, we're going to go to a break and we're going to come back and go in more detail.
Cool. Sounds like a...
Okay, Jeff, coming back from the break, let's say I got a couple of different questions to ask you, but physically, but let me start over. What was the question? The main 3 focuses?
Yeah, just ask me what are the 3 main things to build a successful business?
Okay, Jeff, coming back from the break, what are the main 3 things to build a successful real estate business?
I have people ask me a lot, Bill, how we built our team and what we need to do to hit 600 deals. I don't know that there's more than maybe 50 teams in the entire country that can sell over 600 houses. And we had talked on one of our breaks about brokerages. I would guess we're selling more homes than a majority of brokerages in America. And people always ask how we're able to accomplish that. And I try to keep it as simple and basic as possible. It's obviously not a simple answer, but if you look at the main things, number 1 is a systematic approach for lead generation. Number 2 is a systematic approach for lead conversion of the leads you're generating. And number 3 is adding agents to that equation. If you can successfully generate leads, teach your agents to convert those leads, and add more agents to that process, you can build as big as you want to go. And so what we have done, which is not self-serving, and I find a lot of teams and brokerages are self-serving, we don't only teach our agents how to convert the leads we're generating. A major focus of my team, 66% of our focus, is teaching the agents to generate their own leads from their sphere of influence and their own prospecting efforts. But the way you treat your sphere and your prospecting efforts and the leads I'm generating via internet leads and outbound prospecting, you treat them all the same. And if you read the book by Michael Mayer, 7 Levels of Communication, he teaches very quickly the best way to communicate with individuals is face-to-face. Another good way to communicate with individuals is over the phone. And too often in this tech-savvy world with the millennial generation, we want to hide behind text messaging and email correspondence. People don't feel special when you text them and you email them. They feel special when you send them handwritten notes and you call them and you show an interest in their lives. And how we've been able to successfully see our conversion ratio at over 3%, which nationally internet lead close ratios are typically under 1%. So we're closing 3 to 6 times more than what the average team is nationally in residential real estate. We're able to do that because it's not just about that initial phone call. Everything's about the initial phone call and creating a foundation. But a majority of your success isn't going to be based on the first contact. It's going to be based on the 10th contact. And staying in contact with that lead over 6 months, not expecting that they're going to pick up their phone and call you because you were so nice to set them up on an automatic email. So did the other 10 guys. So who stayed in contact with that lead over 6 months is going to separate the successful agents from the non-successful agents.
Right. Totally understand. You got to stay in contact. And a phone call is wonderful. It's amazing how few times the phone rings these days.
Yeah, agents are scared to make the phone call, and that comes back, Bill, to leadership. Traditional brokerages, in my opinion, the ones that I have associated with, a majority of the time aren't providing the value the agents need to help them individually be successful. They're resting on the coattails of successful teams who are doing a majority of the training with the agents within the team organization. Our team could be successful within any brokerage. I'm currently at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate in Omaha. It's a great brokerage, great leadership. But I think I could copy my team, paste it into another brokerage that maybe is a local brokerage or a no-name brokerage and have the equal success that we're having within Berkshire Hathaway, because the success we're experiencing is based on the training and leadership and accountability and culture that we've created within the elite brand rather than the brand of the brokerage with whom I sell with. And I know that was one of your questions was, how do we differentiate from Keller Williams? Right. We're our own entity. We are culturally, it comes back to culture leads accountability, processes and strategies. And it's the team leader's responsibility to set that culture, lead by example, hold their agents and their staff accountable to the expectations the team leader has set for their organization. Brokers are scared to set expectations because they have it's contract work. Essentially, residential real estate agents can't be told when to come into the office, what meetings they have to go to, because it's subcontract work. And if it wasn't, then there's going to be a lot different liability and tax code that's attached to that relationship. And so I think that the brokerages are scared to hold agents accountable to certain expectations. How I get around that is that my agents set their own goals and ask our team to hold them accountable to those goals they set. And so if someone says, hey, Jeff, I want to be at the Monday, Wednesday, Friday meeting, then we're going to hold them accountable to that. And if they're not doing the things that they told us they want to do to be successful within our organization, then we will kindly ask them to exit our organization, because we're looking for people that want to be successful. And to us, we define success as over a six-figure income. In Omaha, Nebraska, 6 figures is a lot of money. You can live a very nice life at a 6-figure income. So that's our goal. Minimum expectation for sales is 20 properties a year, 20 properties a year. And if they can sell about 20 houses on our team, they're going to earn about $75,000 to $100,000, depending on the price point.
Right. Very good. Totally understand. So what are the other cities you're in right now? Yeah,
so we launched in November. Salt Lake's Elite Real Estate Group, San Diego's Elite Real Estate Group. In Boston, we're Clear Sailing Realty. In Jacksonville, that's launching next month. It's Jacksonville's Elite Real Estate Group. And then Lincoln, Nebraska's Lincoln's Elite Real Estate Group. All of them have the same website. All of them were generating the similar types of leads using Google AdWords, Bing, Yahoo, Facebook, and Craigslist. Leads have never been a problem for us from a national standpoint or local standpoint. The leads are always there. I've done a very good job, Bill, creating marketing service agreements, relationships with lenders and vendors that help pay for the lead generation. So on my team in Omaha right now, we spend $12,000 a month on outbound lead generation via the internet, via those websites I just mentioned. And so we've been able to offset a lot of our marketing budget with the lender-vendor relationships that we've created. And then another way we've been able to pay for the admin staff, because obviously I named about 7 or 8 administrative positions that we have, it's 100% zero-based through broker fees. So we charge every buyer that works with us in Nebraska a $600 broker fee, and every seller gets charged a $1,000 broker fee on top of the commission that we earn. And so we were able to earn around $270,000 net last year just off broker fees, and my admin staff cost me $240,000. So I actually earn an additional $30,000, which now we will roll into an additional position coming into 2016. So lead with revenue with your admin positions. You don't need to pay those positions out of your own personal commission.
Right. You contract. You have pay by transaction.
Exactly. Transaction coordinator fee. And you got to have the value there. You know, we have a moving truck. We do pictures, video. We have a stager that comes in. They have a full-time listing coordinator. Sellers love it because you can say to them as the listing agent, you can go in and say, hey, if I'm not available, you have a full-time secretary working to provide you with analytics surrounding your listing throughout the entire process. If you ever need anything, you need someone to dot the I's or cross the T's, you're the main, you have a person that's going to be the main source for that.
Very good during the day. Reminds me of Star Power. Do you remember Star Power?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the Patrick Lilly group I spoke about. I actually spoke at one of his events in Seattle in September, and it's the Star Power group. It's now the Patrick Lilly group. Right.
Yeah, it's changed over. He took over the franchise, right?
Yeah. Yep. And he's doing a great job with it.
Hey, we're going to go to one last break, then we'll come back and find out how can we get a hold of you.
Okay, sounds good.
Quick commercial, and then finally one last question. Okay, we're coming off our last break, and to finish up the podcast, we always ask, how can the listener get a hold of you, Jeff? The one who's listening on the iPhone or the smartphone.
Yeah, a lot of people might disagree with some of the things I share. Some people might think it's great and want more information. Whatever the case may be, reach out to me. Tell me how you felt about the Hangout today. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm open to any communication, any feedback any of the listeners would like to give. Go out to eliterealestatesystems.com. Bill, I'm sure you can create a link to that as well on any post that you put out there. What you're going to see there is that is our expansion platform and coaching platform. I have a link to all the Hangouts that I've been on, which I'm going to include yours as well, Bill, with your permission. I have a link there that's all about the coaching workshop that we put on every other Monday. And then there's more information about how to open an expansion team if you are in residential real estate. I think the greatest resource there is going to be the team building workshop that we put on here in Omaha. It applies to any industry, and we've had a ton of great feedback from that. I can send you a references list if someone wants more information. But from that page, you can Facebook me. That's the best way to communicate with me. There's a Google Plus link there. Our YouTube channel's on there. But the best way is just shoot me a Facebook message. It's Jeff Cohn on Facebook. Pretty simple to find me.
Well, you're pretty well connected in social media for a guy who says, I'm not really into social media.
I don't know that I've ever said I'm not into social media. We do a lot of social media.
Yeah, I saw that. I was just talking at the break to Mike Sheehan from he's an insurance specialist. And I got you. Hey,
I think from a social media standpoint, I'm glad you brought it up, is a lot of people, they know social media is important. They just really don't know how to communicate. If the post isn't adding value, if you wouldn't want to read about the thing you're posting, don't post it. We tell our agents all the time, go personal, go funny, then go business. Too often people open up pages and it's business. People want to hear personal stories. They want to hear mess ups. They want to hear about a listing where you overpriced it and got fired from your seller. People want to hear the real stuff. So be organic. That's the whole point of social media.
I've never thought of it that way. That's a great idea, though. We always, the number one piece of mail we put out is the newsletter. Not the newsletter, but is the Christmas card. The regular Christmas card, a little about the family. It's a relationship.
Yeah, I like that.
We blog, and anyways, that's good. Very, very good. Hey, in finishing, one last question.
Okay.
And okay, Jeff, we're not going away. We're just finishing up the iTunes portion of the podcast.
Cool. And
we're going to go stay on for the YouTube and for the live streaming afterward to allow folks to ask questions.
Cool.
But two last questions. First of all, I'm going to jump to the 5-year question. I'm looking at agents have been 5 years and less, about around 3 to 5 years. What have those agents done to be really successful, and how do they compare to the agents who've been in 20, 25 years?
I think number one's going to be age, Bill. You look at the average agent. If you've been in the business 25 years, typically you have to be at least 18 in most states. So you're in your 50s. The average agent, I've been told nationally, is 55 years old. I think you're seeing a lot of these young millennials having a lot of success because they've embraced technology. Everyone says that. That's kind of the stereotype, but it's actually the truth. Not only in communication via social media, but also in simple communication, like we talked about earlier. Email and text have a place. And I said you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't rely on that. Building relationships, you need to be making calls, but the drips and the texts keep constant communication. They keep that line of communication open. And I think our younger agents are embracing it. Number two is learning. Young people aren't scared to learn. Young people aren't scared to adapt. Young people aren't scared to change. And the thing that separates you and me are the people we meet, the books that we read, and the podcasts we listen to. The more knowledge that we can connect into from a local setting. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, and I've exhausted. There's a ton of great agents here, and I've taken them to lunch. I've learned as much as I can from the Omaha agents. So what I did 4 years ago, my operations manager and myself went out and we visited over 50 brick and mortar locations across the country so that we could see how other successful teams were implementing their businesses, how they were running things, how they were hiring people, how they were holding agents accountable. You don't have to invent the wheel. Whatever industry you're in, if you're in insurance, if you're selling steaks door to door, I don't care what you're doing. Find a guy that does it better than you. Go spend a day with them, spend $1,000 on yourself and learn how they're doing it, and then go back to your market and implement it. I think there's that Rohn quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. I'm going to pull it off my phone. If you ask me my favorite quote, this is it. Your level of success will rarely exceed your level of personal development, because success is something you attract by the person that you become. Let's invest in ourselves, guys. And I guarantee the sky's the limit. You can go as far as you want to go, but you're not going to grow if you don't change. You're not going to grow if you don't read. You're not going to grow if you don't meet new people.
Well, I think that's a good way to finish the podcast. And folks, for show notes on the podcast, go over to timelinesnetcast.com, timelinesnetcast.com, and you'll find it. You Google it. It's Timelines and Netcast. You'll find us, all sorts of different shows. And Jeff's show is going to be 182. And you can also put it in the right side. We've got an archive system. You just put 182 in, you'll bring up the show notes from the archive system. A lot of ways to find you. One thing you mentioned, I'm going to talk one last thing. Okay. We're talking about those posts. We find the longer the post, the more information, the more words, you'll be found faster. We've got some tricks where you're found faster online. Like if you put in Karen Conrad for Reno and just do the pictures and videos, you'll see some pretty interesting images start popping up where other people don't. So we've looked at our companies, looked at the backside of SEO too. They're very, very good. I really enjoyed it. Stay on the line. We're going to go on and have a few open questions. I know Mike has an open question. He's a insurance in the insurance business. and he wants to ask you a quick question. So
All right.
close up the iTunes, folks. Go over to the show notes and listen to YouTube or the Blab. And again, we're on every morning at 9 o'clock Pacific, 12 o'clock Eastern live. Okay, we're recording. I'm going to record the general discussion now. This won't go on a podcast, but it's on YouTube. It's kind of fun. Actually, some of the best information comes out in this YouTube part. Mm-hmm. But what I want to ask you about, I see, it's really weird. I've watched my wife over 25 years. I'm sort of hard-driven systems process engineer, getting things done. I look at statistics and what works and what doesn't work. Sort of like you, but maybe more like an engineer or math guy, not so much in the sales, but I know sales is so important. But my wife, on the other hand, it seems like she's more social with her real estate company, and she works for Chase International, but we have our own real estate company in California. It's very small now. It's just really managing some commercial properties and a few listings here and there. But that said, it seems like some of these real estate agents are almost, you have to have the social to keep the agents going, but they forget they have to do the work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of different personality types. We in our recruiting process, we're actually requiring all of our admin and agents to take the DISC test, which you can take for free on the Tony Robbins website, which defines people as having one dominant trait out of 4 generic traits. And our agents, we find the best agents are high ISs. I for personality, it's your wife's personality. She's great at engaging people. S is systematic. It's someone that's going to continue. They're not going to quit. They're going to come back in every day, every week. They're going to make their calls and take a systematic approach to whatever they're doing. Your drivers are your best CEOs and coaches, accountability coaches, etc. I think oftentimes agents are very high I's, and they might not be high in any other category, to their detriment, because all they care about is the warm and fuzzy relationships, but they don't have the business mind. I think the perfect pairs, Bill, are you and your wife, where you can take the systematic approach, the analytics, the engineering background, and then you can have your wife as the CEO, the face of the company, and your powers combined, your super team, and you can take over the world.
What happened where I was in Modesto, I was really well known. She was too, but she was known because of the relationships I think we built on the side. I was known because of being elected. So that's good. Mike, what's your question? You had a question on insurance and working together team and what you found works?
Well, yeah, and I hate to jump into this because I'm and I learned the hard way that, especially if you're doing online, the value of kind of building relationships. So kind of jumping, I'm kind of jumping ahead a few steps, but I'm going to use my relationship with Bill to kind of pepper the question. One of the things I've built here is selling life insurance online. And one of the things that I've done has developed relationships with other businesses where I say, hey, you're leaving money on the table. The real estate being a big one. And I don't want to get into detail now, but maybe just something for you to think about, Jeff, and we can go back and revisit this as far as having a potential relationship where this could be an additional revenue stream by just simply, as they're closing or they're providing information to that new homeowner, the mortgage protection, because that's mostly what I do online, is selling the mortgage protection, which is in essence is life insurance. So it's really not a question, but more of a something that we might want to talk about and see if there'd be some value, because there could be potential value for income for your business, and then we can also structure it where that particular agent can make a few bucks as well.
Interesting. Yeah, and I'm always weary. A lot of the challenges with RESPA guidelines is that you can never receive compensation for a direct referral. All of the organizations in which I'm able to collect something that comes directly to me are owned by me. They're entities like I have a closing company that does the physical closing, so I can charge my clients a fee. I have an LLC, a trust account, etc. When it comes to marketing service agreements, I don't keep any of that money. It all goes to a third party to lead generate. So I don't know how we would get around RESPA guidelines. I'm happy to have open conversation about it.
Yeah, we can kind of figure it out.
Yep.
Because, whether it's a, I don't know, it would be based on what the wording that we would want to put behind it. So
yeah, I just know
whether it be, I said we can talk about it.
Yeah.
That's potential income. Because I make pretty much on a mortgage protection about $1,000. So there's money there that I can certainly share.
And for me, it's not even about the money as much as it's about the value. So if there's great value there that I can provide to my customer, then I'm always open ears to find out, what you're talking about and what's out there.
Absolutely, because just having the conversations with people that find me online, a lot of them are reaching out because they just did buy that home and they're looking for, that insurance. So cool. I'm just going to put myself on mute here for a second.
Yep, no problem. No problem. Awesome, Bill. Any other questions?
Yeah, hold a second. A couple of things. I was going to ask you more about RESPA too. You talked about going around RESPA. My wife, because I was gone, I went back in the military 5 years on a program. So really, just focused on the program. Really missed a lot in 5 years. A lot of rules changed, especially after the 2008 and 7 meltdown. We used to have our own mortgage company in house, and for many many years. Early on, we had design, build, construction, mortgage, and then of course real estate.
Okay.
The RESPA and all the requirements have changed so much. I know my wife, and that's one thing, she's overly cautious about any violations. So sometimes she wants to do less, and she's actually as a broker, she's rescued other agents coming to our company and worked their way through when they have suspended license. So the RESPA issue is a challenge, and with the teams and all the different layers, but you sort of explained how you work around that RESPA requirement.
I don't do any work myself to make sure I'm RESPA compliant. I have an attorney that works for my team who looks at everything I do and makes sure I'm RESPA compliant. So for every MSA we create, we have an attorney that comes in and makes sure everything that we're doing is legal and on the up and up. We want to be the #1 team in the country. That's our goal. That's what we're striving for. We will be. It's just a matter of when. Yeah. And once you're leading the pack in any industry, you have a huge target on your back because people assume you're cheating to be where you are. And so I always make sure that everything we're doing is vetted. I'm also completely transparent. If you went through and listened to the other 15 podcasts I did last year, I tell the world what we're doing. There's no secrets. There's nothing to hide. It's hard work. It's lead conversion. It's lead generation. It's recruiting. It's every day waking up, getting your workout in, getting into the office, and just hitting it hard. Another fun quote, Bill, if you would allow me to. I'm kind of a quote junkie.
Oh, I love quotes.
It's not enough to be busy. So are the ants. The question is, what are you busy about? People like to be busy. I mean, everyone likes to feel like they get a lot done. The question is, what are we getting done? How are we putting our time in and day out? So I think too often agents have fear. Don't lead with fear. Just get answers. Knowledge, light clears up fear really quickly. A lot of people hide behind rules and say, oh, well, I never did that because I thought it was against the rules, or it would be too hard to figure out if that was against the rules. Just hire somebody, pay some money. Sometimes you have to take a step back to take a couple steps forward.
That's really good. So Mike, any other comments or ideas on back and forth real estate? He's in Stowe, Ohio, which is
I'm near Cleveland. I'll tell you something interesting just about this. While we were talking, I do a lot on LinkedIn, and I've been reaching out to the people that I've been connecting with, because I'll get about 20 to 30 new connections every day, and I've been putting it out there. I says, are you guys doing anything with Blab? And most of the people have not heard of it.
Yeah, not yet.
But what caught my eye here is this gentleman is a coaching and consulting. I'm just reading his message, and he's in Omaha, so that's what caught my eye here. And he basically said that I've heard of it, but I don't know if it's for my clients. So
who is it?
What's his name?
Yeah.
Eric Johnson.
I know Eric Johnson.
President and CEO of Axis, AXIS. Coaching and Consulting, Omaha, Nebraska.
I personally met Eric Johnson in Las Vegas a couple times. He's been on my show. If you go into Timelines and just type in his name, you'll find his episode.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, and I've had this a few times where they poo-poo this without even looking at it. I said, I'm just I'm amazed.
I use Gallup a lot, and I talk to Gallup folks, and also I worked on a major project with the Kauffman Institute with the military. So I know a lot of people between Kansas City and Omaha, but Gallup, because of civil military operations and what I do, and Gallup has a big influence there in Omaha, Nebraska. Plus, I told you I went to school there for a while.
That's right.
I know a lot of people in Omaha, but Eric, I actually know Eric. That's funny. That's another common person we know.
Well, this guy's has got a goatee. I'm just looking at his picture.
Yeah, Eric goatee, huh? Eric Johnson. He's a radio.
Oh, you know what? He's got a Veterans Day thing on his He's been doing this for 15 years, that he said.
He's big into sports and athletics and coaching. He likes coaching a lot. That's interesting.
But as I said, the point being, and this is surprising, is the folks that are in these leadership roles, they're coaching and training people and teaching them how to sell, are not staying on top of what's around them, which is which is what's going on the internet.
Hey Jeff, we've got about 3 or 4 more minutes or 5 more minutes on the YouTube, and it'll be on the hour. You mentioned podcasts. Are there any favorite podcasts you like?
As far as people that put on podcasts or actual individual podcasts that I've listened to?
Individual podcasts you recommend real estate agents listen to?
I think and if we're talking real estate, I can answer to that too. I would say for the listeners out there, find the podcast that pertains to exactly what you're doing, and always find someone that's a year or two ahead of you. It's hard to have perspective. If someone's listening to this, they've never sold real estate before and they want to jump in the game, this is a tough podcast to follow. Any podcast that I've been in is going to speak to people that want to have a team that's doing 500 to 600 deals a year. The perspective is very challenging to get someone that's 9 years ahead of you. So what I would say is find someone that's interviewed that does twice as much business as you, or 3 times as much business, not 20 times as much business.
Hey, I've got a great question for you. Look at my wife's case. What I've heard is she should have gone right in and worked for another company like Chase for 1.5 years, then started her own brokerage. She started her own brokerage, then she went back to Chase. I don't think without me, and if I'm not in there, she doesn't really like to manage the brokerage or do the backside. She likes to do the traditional transaction work with people. Brand new agent, top producer from one area, CRS, DRA, about 50-ish, coming into a new city like Reno. What's the first thing you do? How do you start?
Number one, I'm going to understand the market in my area. I'm going to start looking at houses, showing houses, do open houses so I can understand my market. Obviously, she has the talent base to be able to create relationships, start creating relationships right away, start getting involved in as many organizations as she can, and never be the leader of an organization, just be involved in organizations to meet new people. Number two, get a CRM, a client relationship management system. You can use Excel, Top Producer. I use Boomtown. There's Real Geeks, which is really affordable. It's $400 or $500 a month. Lots of different systems out there. Have somewhere where you're going to put all these people into a database so that you can communicate with them and add value to them by sending them listing updates for homes that meet their criteria. Number three, create leads, not just within this sphere that you're starting to put attention to, but learn how to do something you enjoy doing that involves outbound prospecting. So spend 2 hours a day calling someone. It can be just listed calls, just sold calls. It can be cold calling. It could be calling your sphere and asking them if they know anyone you should be meeting with. These are not new concepts. People have been doing this for 50 years. Once phones were available, people started calling. The challenge is people aren't wanting to do it anymore. It's like a lot of dying industries out there. People don't want to drive trucks over the road anymore. They're having a hard time finding over-the-road truck drivers. It's not cool. It's not fun and hip. Making phone calls is certainly not cool or fun or hip. But what is cool is making $5,000 an hour. And when you get really good at outbound prospecting, you can make that kind of money. And what's even cooler than that is teaching other people to make calls so you never have to make another phone call the rest of your life, because you've taught others to do what you became an expert at doing, and you were able to exit your business, stop being a cog in the wheel, and teach others to be cogs in the wheel, and then help them exit their business, and then teach others. And it becomes cyclical, and that's the place I'm at. That's the place I want to be, and I want to help other people across the country exit the industry that they're in and teach others to become experts within their industry.
Okay, 2 more quick questions. First of all, you ever blog? You like blogging?
We have a blog. I don't know that I would say I like blogging. I like hiring other people to blog for me.
Yeah, I do that. I guess I'm a tinkerer. I'm getting into the modern type of blogs. My wife's got a little personal blog for real estate. It's got some pretty neat things. I put some links when you get time. Flip those open.
Cool. I'll have to check those out. Yeah, we do a lot of social media. So I post about 3 times a week in the Elite Real Estate Systems. It's a private group for anyone that's been to our workshop. And then I also post on my Facebook page once a week, and I post on my personal page once a week. So instead of the blogging, I do a lot more just social media posting.
If you do flip that real fast, hit the Amazon S3. The link, it has HTTPS S3.
Yeah, I see it.
Hit that thing. I hook that into the backside of the blogs, and that's every time they do an open house, do that, and they print that book out and give it to people, and then people can find that too. But it's really fast. I just hook it into the blog. I don't get SEO, but for every open house, that's what I do in the backside. Hey, here's the next question. You've asked them. This is the last question for me, at least. And Mike, if you have anybody else or anybody else wants to jump in. Okay. I'm licensed broker in California. I'm a civil engineer. I'm an engineer, design, build, construction. I really don't want to do that anymore. I just want to do sales, marketing, things that make most money. And I know that's what makes most money because I used to build custom houses and I used to see the top end brokers manage the deal and make more than I made building a custom house. Yep. I mean, these are real high end custom houses. These are not your, I did real high end stuff in the Bay Area. But the real estate agents who are managing those are making a lot of money on these are $1 million houses.
Yep.
And they really, and more than me compared to obviously taking all the liability and stress. So I don't want to do that anymore. I like to ski. I like to get out and meet people. I still like to do things like this.
Yeah.
So what can I do? I'm not licensed in Nevada. I'm not sure I want to get licensed here. It's because the rules in the state are so different. I love California's licensing. It's more flexibility, easier to maintain. So what do I do to help my wife here in Nevada and California if I'm not licensed in Nevada?
Yeah, I think that you should come to my workshop in Omaha. It's going to teach you how to create a systematic approach to your guys' real estate business. You need to be able to generate value to your agents. You need agents. One of those big pieces of value is leads. So what leads can you guys create and mass produce so that you can hand off around 30 to 40 leads a month to each of the agents on your team? And then what value can you provide to teach your agents how to better communicate with their sphere of influence and for them to create outbound prospecting leads via open houses, just listed, just sold, expired, FSBO? Because those are going to be your 3 different types of lead sources that you need to focus on. Agents will work with you and take a lower split if they believe in you and you have proven, you can literally have proven success after your first 12 months of leading agents. And that's the best way to recruit, is have the agents that have worked your system say this is the best. So number 1, CRM, get on Real Geeks. It's a website. It's going to convert leads. A website that doesn't require someone to sign in is throw it out into the trash can. I don't care if you spent $100,000 on it. It's a piece of trash. Because if you don't have people registering, then you're not making money. People say, oh, well, they'll register when they want to register. Well, that's a great idea, but there's another 20 websites they're on that aren't requiring them to register. And then there's another 20 websites that are out there that are requiring them to register. So who's going to end up winning that business? So require them to register, call them in the first 5 minutes, stay in contact with them over a 6-month period. And even with all of that, you're going to convert at about 3%. That's what we're experiencing in Omaha. So CRM, lead generate, add value to the agents that join your organization. Don't be a traditional broker that sits on their hands and doesn't really do anything. If you are going to have speakers come in and try to add value, make sure you're doing things that are different, or make sure you're vetting the ideas you're presenting. I've heard a lot of brokers and speakers talk about things that worked really well 10 years ago, but they're out of touch with what's working today. And so I think to address Mike's comment, I think that a lot of these coaches and consultants are using the technology that's working today to help drive money to their bottom line. And there's probably, I don't know exactly about Blab or how Blab works, but there's 100 other mediums in which we can communicate visually via video. I've used GoToMeeting, Citrix. You and I talked about the Google Hangouts. Yep. There's a lot of different ways and mediums to be able to have conversations like this.
And Zoom, I tell you what, Zoom is the thing now too. GoToMeeting, GoToMeeting, Zoom is so much easier than GoToMeeting for folks. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I lied to you. One last question on what I've put a lot of time and effort. And it's really hard to actually, because I'm hooked. Jonathan Dinwood, you've met him. He led me to you. I don't know if you know him. I don't know how you guys met. He's got a SaaS product, software as a service. But he knew nothing about real estate when he started building that thing. Nothing.
He came through. I told you I own thousandcallsaday.com, which is an outbound teleprospecting solution. Essentially, we provide virtual agents and hold them accountable. He watched my webinar that I had hosted about that a couple weeks back, and then connected us through that. Great guy. I loved him. He's great personality.
Interesting to watch him grow and evolve. He's put a lot of money into that SaaS product.
Yeah.
But what I've put a lot of effort into this last year, and I haven't executed it yet, but it's learning management systems, LMS. That may be the future. Do you have any LMS in your system right now, learning management system?
Give me some examples of what that is. I haven't heard that before.
Have you heard of lynda.com? Lynda.com. No. You need to look at lynda.com. Just look at it. You can do it free for a week. Lynda, that's the biggest one. It was bought by LinkedIn. It's Lynda, Lynda.com. You can go back to these notes everywhere. I'll send them to you on the right side and hit those links. Lynda.com is the ultimate, but I'm setting up a small one. Basically what it is, it's a membership site where you open it up and then it's got levels of training and you can update that training.
Okay.
You can either charge one big fee for that training for life, or you can charge like an annual, monthly, or whatever it might be. So you take your training and you document it, you film it, and then you put it up on Lynda or on Learning Management System. So now, do you know who John Lee Dumas is?
Yeah. Yes.
He uses a very simple LMS system through Infusionsoft, which I have. But basically, he's selling his course for $1,000 to $1,400. And it's basically teaches people how to do a podcast and run, podcast business. Not even
that's right.
Netcasting.
Yep.
So I mean, that's what an LMS is. So I think there's a place where you go and find people, and you can really get good at creating these learning management systems. But it's actually a little more difficult than I thought getting into the LMS side. But it is, but it isn't. I think you just get
I'll check that out.
And that's the future of learning.
Yep. One of the things that we do is we have a Monday accountability meeting, a Wednesday dialogue and call blitz, and then a Friday team training.
Yeah.
And we record every training and we post them onto our Google Drive. And so anyone that's ever been to our workshop or anyone that opens an expansion office of ours, they have access to live feed, just like what we have going now. Yep. And then they have access to the recording. It goes up to YouTube. And then we put all the links onto our Google Drive.
Totally understand what you're doing. And you know what's amazing is there's a gazillion brokers out there and they're not doing this.
They're not providing valuable content, Bill. The content's not there, hence they don't record it. If you have valuable content, you need to record it, and then you need to get your people to watch it, and then you need to get your people to do it. There's a lot of pieces there. Yeah. Valuable content, recording the valuable content, getting your people to watch the valuable content, and then getting them to do. There's 4 pieces. So a strong leader and accountability coach is going to make sure that the content's there, that it's getting recorded, that their people are watching it, and that their people are doing it. There's a big disconnect there. Most people aren't making sure that people are actually applying the lessons that we all learn. And we all know to have the knowledge without application is no knowledge at all.
Jeff, if you listen to episode 181 and you're at 182, it's like 180 out from you. It's a Canadian. You heard it yesterday, Mike, didn't you?
Uh-huh.
He said, "Oh, we don't do accountability." She's a coach. No accountability. We journal to make you feel good.
Nice.
Because we don't want people to feel bad if they don't make their accountability from their coach each week.
What industry?
What do you think, Mike?
Well, she was just a coach. So I don't think she was zeroed into any.
And I haven't watched this podcast, so I don't mean to offend in any way.
No, I like her. She's nice.
She's doing a really good job at getting her clients to be happy and give her money every month. Yeah. And give her money every month. She's in the business of making money coaching. I'm not in that business. I'm in the business of results based on the agents using our systems to sell real estate. Results are based on selling a property and getting a commission check. So with our expansion team, one of the areas we're different is we don't charge for coaching, but we provide it on a weekly basis to our expansion teams. I don't make money unless my expansion team is successful. When they sell a house, that's when I get paid a referral fee. So it's like coaching, but instead of them having to shovel out $3,000 a month to me, like a MAPS coach or $1,000 a month or whatever it might be, they're getting coaching for free. And if the coaching's good and it's quality content, they're going to be successful. And then the coach is going to be successful. Yeah. That's how coaching should be.
I think her product's a 10-week product that you sign. I'm assuming, I don't know if there's follow-on, but it's a 10-week product. You go through the 10-week course, and it's about journaling. You journal every day. You sort of journal your way through something. It's an interesting show. It's a different direction. Cool. I'm like you in real estate. It's just a numbers game. You have to get out there. You have to do it. It's a numbers generation game. If you don't generate the numbers, you'll never get off the ground.
This is true.
I'm going to go check in my wife. I know that you might have to leave. Mike, do you want to stay on a second? I just got to check with her with the dog.
I'm sure Jeff's got a roll. I just want to know, if you wanted to talk some more, what you want to send me a link or a phone number, and then we can set up an appointment to chat a little bit.
Yeah, just go back out, eliterealestatesystems.com. You can just shoot me a Facebook message.
Yeah.
Let me know a little bit more, Mike, about what you wanted to talk about, and anyone else that's listening, feel free to reach out to me anytime. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Email up here, Jeff at omahaselite.com.
That's okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
I'll put that up.
You can actually, I would recommend you just put the Jeff at eliterealestatesystems.com.
Okay, because the one I have.
Omaha's Elite's the team I own in Omaha. From a national level, my speaking engagements, expansion teams, and coaching is all Elite Real Estate Systems.
Hold a second. I got to talk to my wife.
Yeah, no problem. Have been owners of residential real estate teams that have been stuck at 100 to 200 units and have wanted to break that 500 mark. And everybody that has come out has given us rave reviews. We have 10 different references you could contact if you guys are considering it. I think you and your wife should come out.
Service, or do you monetize it other ways afterward once you set up the team?
Say that again.
Once you set up a team in a city, I assume they go through your training for $3,000. At least one member of the team.
They don't have to pay. If we launch somebody for expansion, they don't pay. So we have 2 different events. One is team building workshop that's paid customers that already are high Ds and run their own teams. And then we have candidates that are wanting to create expansion teams. So we have a separate event that they're ran really similarly as far as content, but one event's for prospective expansion partners, and that event is free. The other event is for people that won't probably become expansion partners. They're people that have already been successful that just want to take their business to another level.
I like it, the 2 models. That gives people 2 models. That's good. Sounds like it works, and you have to work with broker. Hey, real fast, I want to show you on the top. See that 21, the 4, and then we had 2 or 3 people who aren't signed up but watching. Those ones are coming through my other websites. They're just logging on the website and they're watching.
Oh, cool.
So it's like different portals. Hey, thanks. Let's stay in touch. Let's get back together sometime. For sure.
All right, that sounds like a plan, guys. Thank you very much, Bill. I appreciate you bringing me
time. I'll buy you breakfast if you're out this direction. We'll go down to Truckee.
Right, cool. Let's do it, man. I always like an omelet.
Squeezed in. Hey, if you get a chance, Squeezed in. It's a great story. It's in Truckee. It's just 25 minutes. It depends where you're staying.
All right. Yeah, if we have time, we'll have to hit it up.
All right,
appreciate it. We'll talk, Bill. Bye-bye. See you, Mike.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Hey, stay on for a second, Mike.
Sure.
Yeah, you have RESPA things you have to work with.
So just explain that. What's because I know I've heard that before, but I've never really researched. Because
my wife is careful on that because we have mortgage and brokerage, and it's changed over the years. It's tougher now. And insurance, specifically in insurance, she's even saying, which is I verified this is not true, that you have to give your clients at least 2 references, which is not true. I found that out. It's no requirement to give 2. And you actually can share in some of the ad revenue costs if you jointly are doing ad revenue, like buying some specific ad revenue. It's kind of weird. There's a lot of weird rules. They're not that complicated. You can read them. You can pull them up.
Just turn the recording off and I'll ask you a question here.
Okay. I'm going to record again. We're recording. We're talking about lead management, lead generation. How do you get leads and how do you get systems and how you stay within the law and do all the things that you have to do? There's so many laws out there. Oh my gosh. In every city, every state, it makes it difficult, doesn't it? I'm surprised we do as well as we do in the United States. It's interesting to learn that, a lot of countries are socialist over in Europe, but they actually have more liberal and more freedom in their internet laws and less protection than a lot of other places, copyrights and stuff, and less litigation than we do.
Why do you think that is?
It's weird. It's socialist, but they knock out the litigation. Strange. Could be part of our special interest culture in politics. I don't know. The lawyers.
Hey, let me ask you too. I switched over. Do you notice a difference?
Yeah, I like it better. It's a little lighter. You could bring up a little more gain.
Well, I was just farther away.
You can increase the gain too if you want to.
How do you do that?
What are you using? What? Not on the mic. Let me pause it for a second. Not on the mic. With a dynamic mic, you want the discipline of staying the same distance, pretty close, looking the same way, being close. The ATR 2100 is neat.
If you're going like this, it's going to change, right?
A little bit, not bad. I like the angle. You're cutting across ATR 2100, which you have, really works well. Now, if you get it the right distance, they're not going to hear your breathing, and it's going to pick it up. And cutting across the top is good. This 45-degree angle actually changes the pitch.
Yeah, I'm that from thumb to finger. That's how far apart I am.
That's almost perfect. You sound really good. There's no breathing, and that's an art. You get better at it the more you do.
You don't hear the humidifier because that's what the 2500 was picking up.
Nope, I hear no humidifier. I took all that sound out the other day from the humidifier.
That's fine.
I can see it on my sound wave down below.
I switched over. I was on a Blab last night, and it was some really a heavy-duty techie guy, and he's hearing things, but he says, well, I had this mixer, and I got this, and I got that, and the one girl that was doing the thing says, wait a minute, you're way past us.
You can hear it all, but
she was just using her headphone, her mic and her headphones.
Yeah. Actually, I used to not. A lot of podcasters will not let anybody come on if they're using just either the computer or the headphones.
Yeah,
because on a podcast, your sound has to be very clean, and people will not listen to it on iTunes.
So, but yeah, that's as far as lead generation, that's been a hurdle in dealing with businesses on attracting them to the idea that you have a client, there may be an insurance need there, and you're leaving money on the table that you could potentially make as far as a finder's fee, a commission, and you're providing an additional service for your client too. So there's some value added there.
Well, let me talk about making money. You make money primarily from one source, and that's the life insurance. That's your source. A little bit on some other places we talked about, and on your web pages and sites, I don't think you make anything. But I think there's different levels. You've got you got the big pieces, which is your real estate business. And there's some other little things you can add to it. And the lead generation adds to your big sale, which is just one thing. But you could have an affiliate account on your website for something to buy stuff through Amazon. You could have like sand, something really small. You could build a product, and that's where product on the lead management system would help out. You build some kind of product that you sell and teach. Like that's a hard, and it's easier said than done. Because you have to set up all the other stuff, and I use Infusionsoft, and I've got my card in there now. So if I go to Netcasting 101, it's funny, I sold a bunch of these, but I've got to get my product out, I think. So Netcasting 101, see, I can't even find my own product. Of course, Netcasting 101 and their courses. So this is what my basic signups. No one needs to buy this. I'm actually going to change the price on this. I'm not going to tell people what I'm changing it to, but that's what my basic form looks like. So that is Infusionsoft, and then you hook that into a membership site with learning management. So you have a set of courses on there. It takes somebody through doing something, whether it's learning how to blab, go to YouTube, and then to podcasting. I question that anybody needs to do more than a blab and a YouTube nowadays.
I think you're right. I mean, I believe that. I
mean, I do iTunes because I learned to do it, but it's a big jump to learn to do iTunes. And I stick with doing it. I put it up, but it took me last night. I got home from that live streaming. I had to edit that show, and I was tired, so I took about an hour off. I started editing at 11:30. I didn't go to bed till 2:00 last night. Just to edit that one show. It takes me an hour and a half minimum if I'm alert, things are going well, to edit a 30-minute show. And I've been doing this for a long time. Is that really the best use of time? Let's see what my numbers look like. Well, we've done well, but the WP Tonic, the 1 week show, is my best show with Jonathan. It's 2 people, and it is definitely up on iTunes. So
no, I don't know. I mean, I was on a Blab earlier today, and they were talking about the value of participating and engaging on other people's blabs. Because there was this thought that, you need to get out there and start a blab. You need to start a blab. Well, if nobody's listening to it and you don't have an audience, I don't care how good it is. So, you go through all that. And certainly if you're on iTunes or doing a podcast and you have no audience, now you're adding all of that editing, all that stuff that you got to do to make it look nice. And then you have nobody listening to it. So to me, and I've not done iTunes or a podcast, and that's always what's kind of scared me away is the after stuff. Is a blab is so much easier to start and build the audience. And then if you get some traction, now invest in the podcasting processes and the iTunes processes. Because
podcasting through iTunes and a couple other places, mostly through iTunes. It's the big,
because what you're seeing here is people, build an audience on Periscope and then they push them to blab.
Is that what they're doing?
So no, in both of those platforms, you're getting the recording. It's not difficult to do, and if you do want to take that extra step to now, because they give you the code, you want to edit it and change it and put it on your other things, you have it. But so kind of reversing the model here, because I'm sure that's why podcasting, there aren't as many people on it as you'd think there'd be, because of the extra work behind it.
Yeah, that's the extra work behind it, but people listen to it though, I guess.
Well, again, it depends, because I use myself example. If I started just saying insurance podcast, who's going to listen to it? I could have this beautiful intro and outro and all this stuff, and I say, okay, here it is, first show. Who's going to listen to it? So it's kind of the chicken or the egg. I mean, and this being and I use this example all the time. I mean, our relationship started because I was listening to some of your other programs,
the Blabs, yeah.
And started to engage.
And I'm here at the same time every day too. I'm trying to, the other thing too, I'm trying to get Jonathan to go with his real estate show. I don't care about WP Tonic because it's so good, but the real estate show, moving at something, I don't like to do it in the afternoon that much. I don't like to do shows at night in the afternoon, except on Meet the Voter, Sunday night.
To me, I mean, again, based on that topic, I think that makes sense. I think if you had a how-to, or again, I'll use an insurance program at night, that's not going to pull. Who wants to sit and listen to that? But, something like politics, entertainment.
Yeah, I think politics works at night. Real estate training, our topic here doesn't work at night.
Mm-hmm.
So lead generation. So what my thing in lead generation is, you can collect emails. I liked what he said. I liked what our guest said today, Jeff, about a contact management system, that you better always get an email before you give them the stuff, on real estate. Because you can get a lot of free places, but it doesn't do any good if you don't have an email, he says, which just makes sense. He's definitely an interesting guy, isn't he?
Oh yeah, and I mean, what he's done is phenomenal. So
that team. Well, his webpage is pretty simple. Did you look at his webpage?
I just looked up that site when I was getting it up for people, but I didn't really spend any time.
All he's doing is putting big hunks of Google Plus Hangouts in there, and it's not a bad thing to do. I need to look at his site again. Pick it back up. I've got it here. I didn't get the email he wanted me to put out. Jeff at eliterealestatesystems.com. Hang on, I want to get a pen. I haven't had a pen today. Jeff at eliterealestatesystems.com.
Yep.
Have you looked at podcasting, on who's making money in podcasting?
No, I did not. Mm-mm.
Remember I showed you that 150?
Yep.
Amazes me. See, people are making money with a podcast, but that's the only platform I see people making any money. I guess some on YouTube, but it's a little different in YouTube.
But there again, peeling it back, where did they come from? Did they build their audience there, or did they already have an audience and just bring it over to the podcast, and now through their marketing and through their listeners expanded that audience?
Yeah, I think you have to throw them over to the podcast. And this is a powerful thing, whether it's a blab or whether it's a podcast. This is a powerful thing to have right here. Yeah.
I mean, let's just use Snapchat. Okay, there's that Gary Vaynerchuk, which I've not really followed him. I know the name. All right, Gary Vaynerchuk said Snapchat for 2016. Guess what everyone's talking about?
Yeah.
Well, he's got a huge following, a humongous following.
He has got one of the top podcasts too.
Sir, and I bet he's talking about Snapchat. So, everybody's talking about Snapchat because of Gary, or you got like a Joel Cohn, I mean, you got these guys and they've been around. I know Joel's been around for a while. I know he was back in the AdSense worlds. I know he's written some books. Gary probably has been around as long. So
I bought Joel Cohn's book at the National Broadcast Association last year.
He does a show 10 o'clock Eastern on Tuesday nights.
That's late. 10 o'clock Eastern at night.
Blog Talk Live. Yeah.
I've seen him. Yeah.
Him and Vince Vincenzo. Vinny. What's his last name? Vincenzo Gardina, I think, maybe. But yeah, and they were on for a couple hours last night. I was kind of bouncing back and forth because they were talking about they were getting people on talking about Periscope, the Periscope Summit.
Yeah, that just happened in San Francisco.
How they're changing it. They're calling it live stream. No, they're calling it video live stream. What was the live streaming? It's video streaming. I think they're kind of changing the words used for this stuff.
For Periscope?
No, just for what we're doing in general. I mean, everyone's calling live streaming. They're calling video streaming. Or live video streaming. I
thought video is recorded. The word video.
Really? Yeah. Good point.
Why do you like my word netcasting?
Well, I mean, when I think of it, I think of everything, in a big net that you're just pushing all your stuff out to. I mean, I do a health blog, and once a week I push it to. I just did it this morning: Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Plus, Twitter, and Pinterest. And it's a blog post, and it anybody clicks on any of the links, it puts them into my CRM that hooks them up with the Beachbody stuff.
What's hysterical, if you're on YouTube, I need to start doing some SEO with these YouTubes. If you start putting netcasting on YouTube,
okay,
not YouTube, just type in netcasting in Google and then go videos. You're going to find guys like throwing nets out. There's like everyone's throwing a net out there. But first, there's nothing on what like netcasting, the technical concept of it.
Maybe netcasting online, internet netcasting.
I just put it netcasting. Netcasting. Let's see. Netcast. If you go netcasting 101, if you go netcasting 101, you'll find one of my goofy early videos. But that should be good. That should be getting some SEO juice. I need to do some better ones. I need to get.
I think you need to lengthen it.
The 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
No, I'm talking about just the long tail keyword.
Oh yeah. Netcasting.
Video netcasting. How to do video netcasting. How to do live video netcasting.
How to netcast. The problem is netcasting is coming with people throwing nets.
Yeah.
old school.
Well, that's what I say. If you throw in the word video netcasting or online netcasting.
Well, I have been Googling that, like how to netcast and podcasting. I come up netcasting 101. How to video. I don't think I put that one in yet. Netcast. Because people just don't know the word netcast. Netcasting actually is the word that's there. Let's see. Netcasting videos, YouTube. So it does come up with other people on netcasting videos.
Let me try something here.
Netcast Church. Watch NBC Nightly News video on demand.
Are you using netcasting as one word?
Yeah, one word.
Let me just see something here. All right. So I typed it in the dictionary and it went to newscast or podcasting.
Oh, that's new. I mean, that's what the technical. In 2007, the North Carolina paid for a research institute. They're trying to get more technology and this new media into the state because they're big into technology. They knew it was coming, and what you're seeing now. And what they wrote was spot on with what we're doing today. And they define netcasting as both webcasting, podcasting, everything pulled together, and they throw the blog. But they didn't know about platforms like this.
Yeah, so it flipped me to newscast, and then the more suggestions was diecasting, baitcasting, and podcasting. So when I typed in on dictionary.com.
Dictionary.com and put that in. The word podcasting was developed in 2004. It comes from the concept of recording an RSS feed and downloading it and hooking it into an iPad. Not iPad, but what are those called? iPods. What do you call it? Dictionary something?
Dictionary.com.
So how are we going to get rich today through lead generation?
I contend because I was spending $40 a lead for a mortgage life insurance. Now I'm getting the lead. I can get as many as I want, but for the most part, they sucked.
Yeah. Everyone's
for a variety of reasons. People's health is terrible. They think because it's on a piece of paper and they mail it in that they can get insurance versus they know if they sat down with somebody, they could not. They already bought. It's not unique. So you have a lot of different services out there that are scraping all these new mortgages. So, but that's $40. I mean, that's, you get 10 leads, that's $400 a month.
Yeah.
That's 16 or a week.
That's expensive. $40 a lead.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they're going for.
It's a lot of money.
Right. So
you have to have high conversion rate on that.
Well, yeah, I said, you have to, out of the 10, you got to sell at least 3.
I'm listening to you. I'm just going to go get this window fixed.
No, you have to sell at least 3. So my belief is you have to collaborate with other people in other businesses that see the advantage of you providing that additional service to their clients. So in my world, the real estate people, the CPAs, anyone that's dealing with the mortgage, the mortgage people, same thing. Mortgage people, in essence, are even a better because they're sitting there with all the forms. Person sign this, sign this. So again, it's just developing that relationship, because really the real estate person isn't the best because they're not really the only forms, and you can correct me here, is really in the beginning when you're signing that contract. Let me take this. When you're signing
Go
that
ahead.
contract,
Hold on.
you sell
Got a bad light coming through here. I've got this plantation shutters, and there's one bit of light coming through. It's really strong. There's snow on the mountains, and it's reflecting down, as you can see right here. And I'm trying to cut that out. It's really weird. Can't figure out how that's getting through. Right? Nope, that's the camera. So where's the light? Can't find the light. Find it somewhere. I could put it here. This is so weird. Where's that coming from? Trying to figure out, can we figure out where this is coming from? That's weird. It's reflecting. That's so weird. This is so strange. Oh, and it's coming off the phone. My daughter's phone. It was hitting the glass on my daughter's phone, which is over here. It's an old phone. It was bouncing off. A little bit of light was coming in the window, hitting this and coming up. That was hard to find that. So anyway, anyone out there other have ideas on, love to have your ideas and thoughts, whether you're texting in or, oh, we got 16 messages. Sorry about that. I need one of this top professionals. Well, okay. I'm reading the notes. I'm catching the notes right now. Let me look. Thanks for teaching. Okay. I'm looking. Sorry about that. I just caught the notes. Mixler is a great for women because it's voice. I'm trying to catch your notes on the side note. Mixler is voice for microphones. What microphone do you recommend? I would say any USB microphone to start out with. ATR 2100s like this, really good. For to start out with, this goes right into USB and it's really easy on a Mac or PC and gives you your best sound. This is a $400 microphone. You don't need that. This has just as good a sound. Honestly, I probably should have just stuck with this. There's one that's up from this too. But this is a kickstand. This thing is well worth it here though. It makes you look professional and I really like this. So I'll drop the link in here. I actually have a link. It's my affiliate link. I hope this is hooked up right. In fact, I got to call these guys because they're not. Amazon is really difficult to work with on their affiliates. And let me look into something. Let's see. Let's see. If you go into Netcasting 101 and you go into resources, and drop this in here. This is my resource link. And on that resource link, if you go down the resource link, it talks about web hosting, netcasting, and podcasting equipment. And my number one mic is the ATR 2100 dynamic mic for $50. I'm going to add another mic to that, though. It's the one step above.
Sorry about that.
Company. Someone was just asking about a mic. I wasn't paying attention on the right side.
Well, I'd sent her my stuff. She also was putting in it wrong. Her questions weren't showing up because she was doing it reverse. So I think she's got it right now because I see a question over there.
Yeah, we can put that there. There you go. That's good. Bring that up. And Carol, where are you from? I like to get follow.
I think she's from Brazil. If I looked real quick.
There are different laws too, and different. They won't even export some of these mics in different countries, which is strange. So Rio de Janeiro. Wow. Nice.
I had was it Carol? I had an exchange student from Sao Paulo. He is, I think he's probably, when did I have him? I had him as an exchange student. So he was 18 and when was the first exchange student that we had? I think 1990 or something like that. So he still lives there and has a family of his own. But he was a Rotary exchange student. She
works for IBM, I think, or consults and works with IBM Brazil via from LinkedIn. There you go. Hi, Carol. I'm not doing too bad for going to bed at 2:00 last night.
Yeah.
I think it's important to do what we're doing right now. Just get up and talk and meet people. Hey, Carol, that's really good.
Hello.
Clear picture.
There she is.
You don't listen. What kind of mic are you using? Sorry about that.
It's very, very cheap microphone, and
I'll be right back when you're gonna get this.
Okay. And I don't, I'm a girl. I don't like how I look wearing it. So
Well, I mean, a couple of things you can do is like the one that I have here is well, I guess the first thing is just to go online and see if you can find Audio Technica. You might be able to order one from them if they deliver in Brazil.
Do you have Amazon?
Yeah, we do.
Or look on Amazon for it as well. So,
Mike, I just dropped the link in there. See it right there?
I don't see it yet.
Podcasting. I'll drop it again. I think it's still in there.
Yeah.
That's a link to Netcasting 101. That's my affiliate links through Amazon.
Oh, I saw that earlier. Okay.
And you click it and you go down and it's got the ATR 2100 as the very top mic. I think I also have the store too.
But I don't want to invest $400. What is a nice value?
For Mike?
Yeah.
$50 for the ATR 2100.
Okay.
Yeah, 53 bucks.
It varies here and there. $50. The step above that is the 2005. It's the same guts. It's a little bit different shape, slightly different sound. It's about $70. But the ATR 2100.
Oh, that's this one here. This is the 2500.
No, that's 25, but there's a 2005, Mike.
Or 2005. This is the 2500. So
it's condensing. There's condensing and dynamic and cardio. You do not want to buy a condensing mic to get great sound. What are you using now?
I'm using some cheap thing from China. I need to look.
Well, it's all from
got
China.
a mic on it?
I don't know the brand. Take a look. This
No, that's
brand,
fine.
do you know?
No, what are you using for a microphone?
Just a moment.
That's the headset doesn't make a difference. Headsets are not critical, I don't think.
Yeah, but I don't. The mic is on
the headset.
Here. Yeah.
You sound pretty good. The only thing negative on those mics is sometimes they hit something they call scratch. They scratch. So you make a sound when you're recording for podcasts.
Yeah. I am new user in Blab. I'm learning, so that's why I saw your beautiful microphones in there. So that's why I took a step to ask you, because soon I will be netcasting. How do you call it? Netcast 101.
If you just buy this right here, this and this is about $3. It comes with a little stand. You can just use that for the longest time.
Yeah, see, there's my stand.
Just like that, like he's got. And the step above, this is $32 and it's heavier than heck, but it makes you look really good. It makes you look cool. And you can really get it just right. See. Make it
so
good.
you plug that in your computer, because I'm more a mobile person and I use my iPad and my iPhone, so not sure if
They all have a USB.
Not iPads don't.
iPads.
What are you using right now? A computer?
No, I'm using my iPhone.
Oh, it's doing good. You're doing good with that. You're not far. If this works for you, you get I don't have it here, but there's a little clip for an iPhone, and you hold it do a clip.
I do. This is what I use for my iPhone. It plugs right into the phone. Where am I here? There it is. Okay, so that plugs in. It plugs into the phone.
They have all kinds of things.
I mean, I can go, and it gives you a lot of cord, and then I just clip this to my, right here.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I need
this is the ATR 3350. Also sold by Audio Technica. Is that on your?
Expensive too.
Is that on your link there, Bill?
No, I've got the Rode, which is really. I'll put the actual Rode on here. Rode is pretty expensive. It's $79, but it's amazing. It's a little Rode mic.
This was $25. This one.
The Rode mic.
This was like $25.
I probably will buy this one, because as I use more my iPhone and iPad, I believe this is the best.
And what's good with this? Yeah, and what's good with this is I do a lot of video with my phone, and when you point your phone away, that's where the mic is. So the sound was terrible. When I would use this and do video, my sound was perfect.
Yep, that's like I do the Rode. I can't find my Rode mic right now.
You have all kinds of microphones. You could just open a business just to recommend microphones.
I don't think I make enough money doing that. The Rode mic is by far the best, but the other one's really good too. There's so much to learn in this to do this well, and for real estate agents, it's really important they go out and start doing more live streaming and that sort of thing. Hey, so what do? You work for IBM or work with IBM?
Yeah. Today's a holiday. That's why I'm spending time here, joining some Blab sessions. I work for IBM. I'm a communication leader for organization inside IBM, client and sales support. I planned communications across the globe for this department.
What is IBM looking at this type of system that we're looking at right now? What are they doing about this kind of communication? They must have some amazing things.
Yeah, I think that Blab is quite new, and I'm interested in learning more to use that as an internal source to engage employees, because this allows it's beginning because we have confidentiality issues as well. But the IBM strategy in general is to empower people to be more engaged. So I'm learning these new tools and searching what we can use for inside, because I work more with internal communications. And I think this is a great tool because you can, for example, put someone to be interviewed by employees and have like roundtables without the need of having people traveling.
Well, Carol, if you look down there, I just typed in another link. It's called appear.in. And that's private. And I think somebody said you could have up to 10, but I know you can have up to 8 people. Like here, Blab, you can only have 4 people on the screen. Oh, we lost her.
No, she's still there. She's
all right.
No, I'm here. I just clicked.
Lost your visual, but yeah, appear.in is you can make it private.
Where did this come from?
When you're on a Blab, you cannot make a Blab private, so anybody can come in and out.
Where'd you hear about appear.in?
On a Blab.
How long has it been around?
Don't know, but right around the time when I first heard about Blab, people were talking about Appear because Blab was not private, and they go, well, what can we do? Well, here's this appear.in.
Is it growing? Is it just, you know, it's amazing. I don't think that Blab is growing as fast as I thought it would grow.
You know
I think that people.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I think that people sometimes fear to share their videos. I see a lot of people joining rooms, but not stepping in to participate in the conversation. I think that as Blab is not available in Android as well, it limits new users, but they should have Android soon.
Bill, what do you think about this? Do you think if we didn't have Periscope, that Blab would not have be as big as it is right now without Periscope?
I don't know. I don't think it's that big yet.
Well, but what I'm saying though, I'm seeing, you know, the people that I'm seeing came from Periscope and they brought their followers to Blab.
Yeah. Well, are they going back to still using Periscope though? Right?
Not as much. I mean, again, I was on another Blab, and this guy was a big Periscope person, and now he says I'm on Blab because it's more personal. You know, you have more engagement. You can, you know, and you can get relationships faster because you can have this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. It's a face-to-face thing. Like now I know Carol down in Argentina. I never met anybody down in Rio de Janeiro, right?
Brazil is not Argentina.
I meant to say
where the Olympics.
Not mean to say Argentina. I say Rio de Janeiro in Brazil.
So, Carol, are you guys starting Carnival? Is that what the holiday is?
Yes. No. Today is like the city day.
Gotcha.
Because
I thought isn't Carnival start
Carnival
in February?
February, yes. Tuesday is February 9th.
When's Ash? Yeah. Because when's Ash Wednesday? I don't know when Ash. I should know that.
Yeah, Carnival in Rio. It's very interesting. Yep. You should have you been here?
No, but I don't know if you'd heard. I had an exchange student back in 1990 from
I heard
from Sao Paulo, and I got to know a lot of the other Brazilian exchange students. Crazy people. They were crazy. And when February was, everything was a big party for the whole month, you know, because they were introducing us to Carnival. So, and I thought it either ended. Does it either end or start with Ash Wednesday? Do you know?
It's ends in a Wednesday. This year is going to end in the February 10th. And it starts, depends on the city. Like Carnival in Rio already started because they have like parades in the street that you can have your own band. Yeah.
But
I'm more quiet person, so I'm going to travel to a beach far from Rio. But but it's interesting, and now it's growing like free events that you don't have to pay, because generally it's very expensive to go see the carnival, and now the street carnival is growing. But we are not here to talk about carnival in Brazil.
It's fun to talk to somebody in Brazil, because I was looking at where you live in the city, where you might live in the city. You got Highway like 101 going around it, and then you've got like Santa Cruz, right, one side, and the city's on the other side. Is it by the bay, the city?
Yes, where I live close to Copacabana, the beach.
There's beach all over the place.
And yeah, Rio, it's a beach city, and it's very good, very good. I cannot complain.
And it's summertime down there now too.
Yes, but it's rainy. Like, it's not good to come over to Rio during January. It's very warm, like it's 40 degrees Celsius.
Humid.
And humid, like I feel like I'm in Amazon. So I would come in May, because it's sunny and it's not too warm and it doesn't rain so much. Where are you? I don't know where you guys are.
But anyways, yeah, Carol, if you can get online, if Audio Technica will mail to you, that would be a good mic to get, which with this one here that I put in there, the ATR 3350. I mean, I'm only speaking from my personal use of it, and very easy to use on your phone.
Yeah, that sounds good. But how do you listen? How do you listen to it? Just listen to your speaker on your phone? When you plug it in? When you're doing something like we're doing now, and you're using your phone, would you?
And this has where you can put your headphones into it.
No, it's
okay.
It's I listen. Yeah, so you just have one plug for iPhone, and you use your headphone, correct?
Right, that because it has another plug. It has two plugs. See that little
right?
connector?
But this one, yeah, here you would have, this is for the mic. Oop, and then here you could plug your headphones.
Splitter.
So your headphones would go in there. So
do you have to buy that piece separately?
No, all this came together. It was all set.
That's nice. Now it's $225.
Yeah, I mean, I got it for 10 because I got it. So I'm thinking it's like $25 retail.
Give me the number again. I'm checking on Amazon.
Right, ATR 3350. It's in the thread there.
Yeah, I took a photo so I don't.
Well, I have it up already. Wait, no, I have the Rode's expensive, but it's ATR 31. So, how long have you been with IBM? A long time.
13 years.
How do you get a job with IBM? IBM is like all over the world, I take it.
Yes, 400,000 people.
And what do they do to make money? How does IBM make money in Central America?
Yeah,
South America.
It's mainly now. It's a global strategy. So now IBM is turning to invest big time in cloud platform, and also in cognitive business. So we have, I believe you've heard of Watson.
Mm-hmm.
IBM, it's developing a lot of APIs, including social media that people can try for free and then maybe subscribe later if they like. Yeah, you should go to take a look at Watson.
I'm out there right now.
Analytics.
Meet Watson. I haven't looked at a long time.
Yeah, and it's IBM with this capability. We think I'm answering about my opinion. I'm not IBM's voice, but I think that IBM is investing a lot in this kind of complex solutions for business using hybrid cloud. So it allows, for example, in healthcare, to predict when people who has diabetes, who are going to have hypoglycemia, we can predict like 3 hours sooner, so we avoid this kind of situation to happen. There are a bunch of solutions, including for sports, and I think that the business can benefit if they start exploring the APIs Watson has available. And I'm dying to have a Dino. Have you heard of the Dino? It's a toy they're going to launch that it learns. So it's for kids until 9 years old. They're going to release Dino next March, probably middle March. So Dino is powered by Watson. So kids are going to interact with the toy and ask questions, and the toy is getting to learn what the kids learn. I'm dying to have one. It will cost around $120. And I think that this is the capability that IBM is investing mostly nowadays. We are changing from being a IT company focused on hardware and software to be more a solutions company in the cloud platform.
That's so different for IBM. I know they're still huge. They're still here and there. I think we have a big cloud plant that Apple built. And I know for a fact, because they're very, very secretive here when they're building these. This is a mega cloud plant that Apple built here. We have the world's largest business park in Reno, Nevada. It's desert on one side, it's mountain on the other. So they're out in the desert and they have solar panels, but this one of the world's largest cloud plants. And I'm pretty sure that Apple had IBM build the plant, design, engineer, and build it.
There are partnership between IBM and Apple. I cannot guarantee that this plant was built by IBM, but
no, we're recording right now, so you don't say anything. Because I do know that I know I know some real high-end tech people in different places, and they were contracted back from IBM to work in the plant. They work for IBM and they're contracted back. So you put two together, you know these people. Said, well, IBM must have a major role, and then you sort of talk on the side and you figure out, I just don't know how much of a role they're playing in building the cloud plant. But I know they're doing something major. Who knows what they do? It's, at that level of corporate security is so high. It's like government security. It's worldwide too. And you
big customer for IBM, the U.S. government.
Oh, the U.S. government. Yeah, I could say. I imagine worldwide, different governments worldwide. What's it like living down where you live? What are the biggest business? Is it like? Have you been to the United States?
Yes, but I was like teenager, a long time ago. But I do. My career was to support United States executives, and so
I'll be right back.
I go. Okay, so I know a little about the United States due to my job experience, and I'm planning to go this year to do a quick 1-week course in University of Ohio, a marketing course.
Ohio,
because of my
You tell Mike
code,
that he's in. Mike is in Ohio. He's in Stowe, Ohio. I don't know where the university is. That's Ohio's like the middle of the country.
I've been to Ohio. Can you? When I've been to United States, I was I don't know, 15 years old, and I know Ohio. I know Dayton. Cities that people generally don't go when they visit U.S.
I grew up in Southern California.
Yeah, but
10 miles from Disneyland.
That's great. Oh, wonderful! But I'm not a big fan of Disneyland. I don't like emotional, they have a lot of roller coasters, this kind of thing. I'm not a big fan of strong emotions. So, but they tell Disneyland is amazing for many other reasons.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the middle of your conversation there. So
where you're going.
What is this Blab session?
Tell Mike where you're going. She's going to the United States for training in Ohio.
Yeah.
Whereabouts? What's the
University of Ohio? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know which city, University of Ohio State, but I believe it's
Ohio State.
I believe it's Cleveland. Sure.
You're breaking up a little bit. You said Ohio State. So if it's Ohio State, it's probably Columbus.
Yeah, you're right. Columbus.
The old guy.
Ohio State University.
Right. All right. That'd be Columbus. Yeah, that's 2 hours south of me. So
that's right in the middle of the state, isn't it? Pretty much.
Right in the middle. State capital.
Yeah. That's big.
Well, neat. Well, we hope we helped you
Yeah.
out. You can be able to go online. I mean, Audio Technica is an international company, so hopefully you'll be able to go on their site and get that. But if all else, what you have, it works pretty good. So
Thank you for the consultants
Hey,
on microphones,
hold one
and
second.
thanks so much
You ever done your own
the
blab?
conversation. My own blab session, hosting a blab? No, not yet. I don't feel enough prepared
I just
yet.
made you co-host on this show. I'm going to unco-host you and see what happens.
Oh, thank you.
See how it does different. I think it's going to send you something or possibly populate your blab site. Also, if he's still on, because I think he's listening, Jeff, I did the same thing with you, and we've had 27 people come through, and I made him co-host. But here's something I've learned, Mike, and I don't know what happens is, if you're the main person, it's better to turn the co-host off when you leave. To go on like this and turn it off. I still think you get all the feeds, though, don't you? If I turn it off, or make sure the person actually leaves.
I don't know, but I will tell you this: when I've been a host and I bounced off, I still have all the features of the host, even though I'm not on.
Right. Where you can come back and regenerate it. So it holds about 2 to 3 minutes. What I've had happen is, I had on Meet the Voter, I've had someone not get off, leave it on, and then it wouldn't download until I got them to recycle or turn off their computer. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave you on as host, so I'm going to stay on for about 3 or 4 minutes afterward to make sure everyone is, or we just make sure you shut it down, that person's shut down, that I don't leave before the last. When I did that, I actually left first, and they never really left the show, so they shut down their.
All right, Carol. Well, it was nice meeting you, and if you do pick up the new mics, reach out to us, and we'll see how it sounds.
Yeah, and have a good trip. Stay in touch.
Great.
See you back on Blab.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Now, she's still host right now. You're still host.
I'm trying to.
No, that's okay. You're still. I could drop you. She's still host. Now the question is, I can't unhost her now, so she can come back and turn it back on.
Right. That's what I saw. If I jumped off, I would still be able to hit and pause the recordings.
But if someone's still up, I can turn them off.
Because I was a host and I got off, and the person that was on it was new, and I saw some bogus stuff over on the right. Well, I was able to get rid of that, get rid of the stuff in the threads. But now, all right. So mine's saying host, but I'm not. Oh, there they are. Okay.
You're still host.
I wasn't seeing the little X, but I was in where it says like Carol became a co-host. There's not an X there. It was only in the conversations. Okay.
So anyway, that's nice. So the other things is, I think it's better to unhost people. I think, but I'm not sure they'll still get you get a little bit of extra bonus juice when you're the host, because it'll shoot over access to, you get an email actually with the whole show.
Yes.
Be able to download the MP3. So, but if I turn somebody off before the end of the show, will they still get that email?
I don't know that. I was just going to say, I don't know.
So I'm going to go ahead and put, see, I'm not sure if Jeff is still up or not.
Well, here's something here too. And I don't know, maybe Jeff jumped back on, because I see Jeff is on here, but I don't know if he ever left from before. So
no, I think he came back on. He left and then came back on. He's host. I made him host, and then I turned off
he's still host. He's still listed as a
no, not anymore. He's not a host now. I turned the host off.
Gotcha. So anyways, all right, well, maybe, I don't know how much insight we shared on that. I will say, as far as lead generation, you got to companion with people and associate with other people and work together.
I'm going to put Jeff's show back on if I kept it. I probably didn't keep it knowing me. I meant to keep the title.
I'm going to blow. I got a bunch of stuff that had popped up here in our conversation, and that I have to deal with here.
Well, here's a bar. Gay bars are great. Actually, I'm out in California in the West. The gay clientele is huge. I mean, very loyal. I used to work design build construction, and a lot of the interior designers were gay, and the lead generation we got off of them was huge.
Well, I can.
I a lot of money. They didn't have kids.
Well, exactly, and I know. Well, you can't say that across the board now, because a lot of those couples are adopting, but or whatever. I'm necessarily not adopting, but getting a surrogate and that kind of stuff. But my daughter, who's in the fashion industry, oh, absolutely, she can say, hey, there's a lot of money there, and in the travel business, that's some of the best customers. So
they just have more expendable
Yeah.
money than you have. I've got, we've got kids. You got them older than me, but mine are 13 and 15 and a half girls. And I had a son who's through the Coast Guard. They're expensive.
yes,
Holy smoly.
they are.
Well,
So, but
Mike,
I'm gonna.
hey, by the way, last thing, I don't have a show scheduled for Friday. I'm going to do Friday, but my lead dropped off. I don't know why on my system. I'm going to call up and find out why I don't get notified. I just noticed on my calendar. Let me, the lineup for tomorrow is, Josh, let's see, Josh Nielsen. I'd have to go and look up his sheet. I should print off all his sheets here and say what he's all about, but he'll be on tomorrow and we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Well, thanks. Hey, be ready Friday. You and I might do a solo show, and I'll put up on a podcast.
All right.
What can we talk about that would be interesting for a podcast, though?
Well, like I said, we can kind of test our thoughts. We can talk about real estate and insurance.
Let's do that. If Friday's open, it'll be the real estate and insurance show. I said, how do they blend? There's a lot of commonalities between the two businesses. Lead generation is important. So, all right.
Because you're noontime, right?
Yeah, I'm 9 o'clock, which is 12 years time.
Right, because I know that Jonathan Tripp, he's at 10, so I like to listen to his. But
Jonathan Tripp, do you just listen? Do you go on?
I popped in and out. I mean, sometimes they're getting way more techie than there's no value. I'm not going to add any value.
He's 10 a.m. your time, Eastern time.
10 a.m. Eastern.
So yeah, I'm not for 2 hours later. I'm at 12. That was nice to have. Was it Mary from Rio de Janeiro?
Carol.
That was nice to have her. She's really nice.
Yeah.
By the way, I put a link in there. IBM is hiring. I thought that was interesting. I saw that link on their page. I dropped it in.
So, but yeah, I'm sure maybe I'll see you tomorrow. I know I'm going to be out in the morning, so I may miss the show or I'll watch it on the phone. But if not, we'll circle back on Friday.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Take care.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that Mike is still up, and I think he was host. So, Jeff, you're not a host right now because I'm not sure if I'm closing it down, and I'm going to close it down. Well, thanks, everybody. Long morning as usual. Now I got to go do some real work.